Good morning, and welcome to the third annual OpenNebula Conference. Thanks for coming. It's awesome to be here with you. This is our favorite week of the year, so we are very excited you chose to spend a few days with us. We also hope you enjoyed yesterday's session with the tutorial, the hacking session, the CentOS Dojo. Of course, we hope that you enjoyed the tapas dinner and you have been able to recover because we have a very busy agenda for today. Now, in this presentation, before describing the contents of the conference, I would like to give a very brief introduction to the project, to the OpenNebula project, and mostly describe the progress of the projects since our last conference 10 months ago in Berlin. Well, first about the product. You know, our aim as open source community, as open source project, is to build a product. So we created the OpenNebula open source project 8 years ago in order to develop and maintain the OpenNebula cloud management platform. And we are very happy with the results. During the last 2 years, there have been about more than 200,000 downloads from our repository. You know, typical question here is how you compare with other technologies for cloud management. So you know that OpenNebula is a turnkey solution to build clouds and data center virtualization. Mostly we have like 4 differentiators. First, OpenNebula is light and simple, so it's very easy, or we try to develop technology to be very easy to install, to maintain, to operate. Also, it's quite flexible because you know that this is fully open source technology. It's easy to adapt to fit into any data center environment. It's quite robust, it's a mature technology. And it's quite powerful because we provide some features that are not provided by others, like, I don't know, for example, support for cloud bursting, virtual data center management, and other features that you're going to see in the conference. We would like to remark 4 important issues for us. First, there is only one OpenNebula distribution. We think this is very important to clarify. So in our project, it's not a typical open source project where you have the vanilla open source and then you have enterprise editions of the technology. In our case, there is only one fully open source OpenNebula distribution. This is fully open source, it's enterprise ready, it's mature, it's robust, it's production ready. It's delivered as a single package. This is also very important. So it's not that we are providing many different components that you have to integrate to build something functional. In our case, there's a single package that allows you to build the infrastructure as a service, a cloud, private, public, or hybrid. And it's quite mature. We did our first release of software. It was 8 years ago. Since 2007, we have released 72 versions of the code. From last conference, we have released 2 versions of OpenNebula, 4.12 and 4.14. 4.12 brought very important innovations, like, for example, back with code reports in order to integrate OpenNebula with billing platforms, virtual data centers, a new management entity. We think that now, with this change, with this innovation, OpenNebula provides greater flexibility in multi-tenancy in the cloud, security groups, VXLAN support, the functionality to move VMs across data stores, and we also developed many enhancements in vCenter integration. And in 4.14, that was released 4 weeks ago, we brought also very important features to adapt or to address your needs, like, for example, the ability to import running VMs in your private and public cloud, so you have running existing VMs in your public cloud, Azure, Amazon, SubLayer, or vCenter, KVM, and Zen. So OpenNebula now is able to import those virtual machines in your system. We also developed some enhancements in disk and image snapshotting, support for GPU devices, image resizing, complete refactoring of SunStone to improve performance of the graphical user interface. So you can see here that 4.14 brought many important innovations. And that's the reason why we would like to thank all developers, contributors to the code, especially to the core developers and the 1,000 users of OpenNebula that are registered out of the development portal. We will also want to thank those organizations that had provide funding for new features, like for example, BlackBerry, Unity, UCL, bit.nl, and Surfsara. Of course, we look forward to your feedback. Yesterday we had a session about hacking, and today we are having a session, an open discussion at the end of the agenda, and tomorrow again we will have another session. These are sessions where you will be able to provide feedback, to explain your requests. I mean, this is very important now because we are preparing the roadmap for OpenNebula 5. About the community, who is behind, it's very important for us also to remark that OpenNebula has been developed for the users and by the users. Okay? This is a user-driven project. This is vendor agnostic. So we provide many different ways to contribute to the project. For example, by using the technology, you can provide feedback, you can contribute your experiences, you can help apps support new users, by also developing new features. You know that this is fully open source, Apache code, transparent process, public roadmap, but also helping apps in communication. You can lead a user group in your area. You can also host a cloud technology day, and you can also, of course, come here and give a presentation with your experiences and your use case. And also, you can contribute by integrating OpenNebula with any other component in the cloud ecosystem. We have an add-on catalog and we have ecosystem directory. But an important message here is that we are users, okay? And we are developing a technology for users, for the end users. It's not that we are developing something for the vendors and they can distribute. So this is the reason why you cannot see here any vendor logo. Regarding, for example, communication, these are the events or the cloud technology days that we have organized during this year, since last OpenNebulaConf in Berlin. Cloud technology days are education events, and one-day events. When in the morning you have a tutorial, in the afternoon there are presentations by some of the users. We organized it in Technology Day in Czech Republic. We also have in Boston, USA, in Ontario, in Canada. We also in Paris, in France, and in Madrid. So we would like to thank to all these organizations, BlackBerry, Microsoft, Microwave, Hippon, Testnet, for hosting a Tech Day. And of course, we look forward to organizing a Tech Day at your site. So if you are interested in organizing a Tech Day, so contact us and we'll be very happy to help you organize the event. These are free events for the community, tutorial and presentations. Well, about the users, this is very important for us. Of course, we know that there are more than 3,000 clouds running OpenNebula around the globe. We also know that the largest one is has almost 300,000 cores, which is extremely large infrastructure. It's a federated environment with several OpenNebula instances. You can see here some of the logos of our users. You know that this is infrastructure as a service, so it's quite horizontal. It's not that we are addressing a specific sector, a specific industry. So you can see here logos, from, telcos, banking, supercomputing, research centers, hosting companies, cloud providers. We are also very happy to confirm that the growing rate of the number of downloads keeps the same pace as the previous years. For example, you can see here that in last OpenNebulaConf we announced that we have in 1 year 90,000 downloads, and this last year we have 120,000 downloads. The problem being an open source project is that many times you don't have information about the deployments and about information about the internals of those deployments. So that's the reason why we would like to thank those organizations that have contributed posts to our blog, giving information about the internals of their cloud, Unity, PTISP, and Teledata. So again, we would like to invite you to contribute to our blog. So if you want to share information about your internal deployment, you can write such information in a blog post. So that would be great for us, because it's a way to show how the rest of organizations or the companies are using OpenNebula. Well, our commitment. This is also very important. What is our commitment to the open cloud? So we have to take into account that we started like 8 years ago, okay? And we are extremely long-term oriented. So our aim is to bring simplicity, openness, reliability, and flexibility to the cloud. What is the meaning of these terms? For us, simplicity is that you don't need an army of administrators to build and maintain your cloud. Openness is that you can run production-ready software that is fully open source, so we do not have enterprise edition of the code. Open source, OpenNebula is itself enterprise-ready. Reliability, so your cloud will run for years with little maintenance. And finally, flexibility, so you can easily build a cloud to fit into your environment. So you have, I don't know, specific services for accounting, for authentication, for monitoring. You can easily adapt the drivers of OpenNebula so can you build a cloud adapted to that environment. Now about the conference. So this is not a marketing and sales event, okay? We do not want to do announcements and marketing here. That is not important for us. This is an education event, okay? This is an opportunity to learn about the cloud, about the private cloud, about the public cloud, about hybrid cloud, about how to build a cloud, about OpenNebula, about different types of deployments, about features provided by OpenNebula, about real experiences for peers, from you. When you see the agenda, you can see that presentations are mostly from users that are using OpenNebula, and they come here to share their experiences. This is the awesome lineup of speakers that we have this year. We would like to thank all the speakers. We had to tell you that we are looking forward to having more details about your use cases and about your experiences. This is the list of sponsors. Of course, we will also want to thank our platinum sponsors, PTISP and Storepool, our gold sponsors, SenServer, NodeWeaver, and Anglates, and our silver sponsor, No Limit Network and Rantastic. One thing that is also important now to finalize is that we are now starting this year's conference, but we have also started to organize next year's conference, okay? So now, in 1 month and a half, we had to decide the allocation of OpenNebulaConf for 2016. So if you are interested in helping us organizing this event, because you would like to organize this event, in your city, in your area, just contact us, okay? Well, we have to take a decision by December 15. Enjoy, this is your conference. Before giving the floor to, I think, our first keynote speakers, we have 2 announcements. The first one is about the lightning talks. You know that we have lightning talk sessions. We have 2 sessions, one today and at 12:30 and tomorrow at 12:30 as well. You know that lightning talks are 5 minutes and only 5 minutes talks with only 3 slides where you can focus on only one key point. Okay, this is the agenda that we have for today's session, okay? And this is the agenda for tomorrow's session. So if you are interested in giving a lightning talks, we have some slots available. So send an email to Daniel Molina so we can include your talk here. And we have another announcement by Jaime. Yes,
we've opened this channel in Freenode, so if you want to join the OpenNebulaConf channel, you want to discuss anything related to logistics, anything related to the conference itself, feel free to join the channel and send us a few words.
And the other is the meeting.
Yeah, and I had another thing to say. In that other room, the room next to us, there's going to be OpenNebula developers, so if you want to drop by and ask us some personal questions, feel free to go there.
Yeah, you have questions about how to integrate a specific component, how to enhance OpenNebula, anything related to development, you want to talk to developers, they will be available there, okay? Okay, so thank you very much for coming, and let's start the conference. So, thank you.